Hey, Dr. Kathy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I have to be outside and watching the grandkids.
Oh, no worries. No worries. I appreciate you taking the time out to do this with me.
No problem.
And then since you're on your phone too, I'll just I have the questions that I sent you over here. Since you're using your phone, you probably won't be able to view them.
Yeah, I don't have it on the desktop. I don't have this on the desktop. I thought you only could use it on your phone.
Yeah, so I can send it. I can go back through them with you, so that's no problem. How's your
Okay.
day going?
It's going good. It's Friday.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm ready for it to end.
I know
I'm
that's
ready
right.
to start the weekend.
I know that's right. All right, so I sent this out to a couple people. I already sent that out. So let's get it going because I don't want to hold you up since you outside. So I definitely appreciate your time. But
No.
guys, for everybody that's out there watching, this is a series I call Financial Fridays, where I'm taking time out to interview individuals who partner with our academy, who's not only doing for them and their family, but also inspiring lives of others and impacting lives of others. So, Dr. Kathy, if you just want to start off introducing yourself real quick, just for anybody that's tuned in that may not know who you are.
Okay. Yes. My name is Dr. Kathy Kirkland. I reside here in Texas. I'm a co-pastor of a church. Been co-pastoring for about 10 years alongside my husband, evangelizing right at 30 years. And when I first got started in this industry, I used to be a real estate agent. And during that time when the real estate market crashed, my whole world crashed right along with it. So, needless to say, I have four kids in college, a 4 year old and a husband who, just retired from the military, and we were living off a half a check. So the struggle was real. And I was introduced to this by a good friend of mine, Dr. Jewel Tanker. And she had called me one day and said, "Hey, I just met this couple, the Youngs, Timber and Lawrence Young, and I'm flying down to Dallas to meet me there. I found out that we can go to school and we can earn money while we're learning how to trade forex. It's a copy and paste type of system, and I didn't want my my good friend to know that I was broke,
Hmm.
but I knew that I needed to do something different. I already knew she was a millionaire. She wasn't struggling through the recession, and and this had lasted for me. This was about 2016 when I met her, but it had the recession had lasted for me during for the full 7 years. I
Hmm.
struggled. Couldn't even afford a meal plan for my kids. Had my kids going to different restaurants, befriending people, so that when they threw the food out, they wouldn't throw it out. That they would give it to them, and get in body wash, to help wash up and things like that.
Yeah.
So, she told me about it, and I went down, and I was blown away because I was so used to going to school, getting
Right.
a job, you
You're
know,
right.
and I did that. I did everything. I have 4 degrees, all the way to a PhD in philosophy, and I kept going to school to get a good job. But all I was doing was making bills, more bills by
Hmm.
going to school. It didn't show me how to make money work for me. So
Wow.
I needed to do something different. So at this point, I'm surrounded by millionaires, multimillionaires, and one billionaire, which was the owner. And I'm listening to their stories, their testimonies, and things like that. And something just clicked. It's like, okay, this is how the rich got wealthy. And so they're not laboring for it. They was talking about what all they was making and things like
Hmm.
that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm over here. I'm broke, busted, and disgusted. And y'all ain't clocking in, and nobody's clocking in to go to work.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to find a job. I can't get a job. And I didn't have another 20 years in me. My
Yeah.
401k had crashed, right at the
Hmm.
same time. And so I had worked 20 years for it all to be crashed down to $2,000. So,
Wow.
I was tripping, I was stressed out. The stress level was heavy. And, I called them and told them, I said, look, give me my money. They was like, well, you going to get penalized. I was like, I'm already penalized. Yeah, I don't work 20 years
Right.
and I lost all of it. It's gone. Just
Exactly.
give it to me. So if anybody going to blow it, it's going to be me. So, but I was actually there, and I was, I learned a whole lot of stuff, and I was in a different circle of people,
Mm.
and I was so amazed. So I came back home, And I'm so excited. You know how you get when you find something new and it's like, oh, it finally,
Yeah.
yes, I can finally, now I know what to do. And the sad part is this was first introduced to me back in 2006.
Wow.
Missed my season.
Mm.
10 years later, it came back to me again. And
Wow.
so, I'm going to lead up to how I got to where I'm at right now. So I came back home to my circle.
Mm.
My circle of friends, they was just broke, busted, and disgusted as I was. So I'm telling them about it. I was like, hey, we can go to school. Didn't nobody want to hear nothing about going to school. I
Yeah.
tell anybody I felt the same way too. Because I was like, I done been to school. It took me 30 years to get a PhD. I
Mm.
ain't going back to school. I don't have time to go to school. I don't want to
Right.
go to school no more or anything like that. But so the first thing out of their mouth was, hey, this is a scam. It's a
Mm.
scam. You need to get a job. And I just didn't have it in me to
Mm.
go out and get another job. So then I came home and I began to pray about it because we were about to lose everything. I had already lost all my property management houses that I had because I didn't have enough income coming in to cover the rent when people start downsizing so that they could feed their family.
Mm.
And so I was like, God, I got a padlock on this door. I can't feed my kids. I'm giving him the spill. I
Right.
can't do this. I'm telling them everything that I can't do. And
Mm.
so uh, all he said, those that know that God don't talk much. All he said was Ecclesiastes 11:1.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hopped up, I grabbed the Bible, it was the Good News translation, and it said, it is good to enter into foreign trade because you never know what bad luck this world is going to give you, and that you need a minimum of 7 streams of income to survive. Now, that's me summing up the whole chapter 11. So I was so excited because I knew then that I was in a man-made company with a God-written skill set, so I couldn't lose.
Mm.
And so I began to cross-reference it, and then I looked at Matthew 25, where now y'all know I'm a pastor, so you're gonna get some scriptures.
I'm writing them down too.
Okay, Matthew 25, where they talked about the talents. Where he gave some 10, and gave some 5, and gave one 1. Well, some of us was like the one that he gave 1 to. Now, a lot of people say that this ain't for me. I don't need to do that. It is for you. God already knew that one that had that one talent wasn't going to do nothing with it. But the opportunity is presented to everyone to do it because it's written.
Mm.
And reading that scripture, the one he gave 10, he went out, he doubled it and said, well done, and then gave him some more, and he partnered with him. And then there was another one that he gave 5. He went out, did what he's supposed to do, and
Mm-hmm.
he partnered with him. So the one that had one talent, he had the nerve to say that I knew that you were a hard taskmaster and you would come back reaping where you haven't sown, which was a lie because he gave him seed to sow.
Mm-hmm.
And so he cursed him and he went on. But that's why I'm saying that it is for everybody to enter into foreign trade. So, and when I realized that it was Bible, and then some
Mm-hmm.
say you're a pastor, you're a preacher, you shouldn't be going around telling people what to do with their money, or who better to tell you than the church?
Right.
Everybody else been telling you for years to go to school and get a good job, and then buy a house, and that's the highlight of your life.
Yeah.
You got 30 years to pay the house off.
Mm.
So I started, Googling things and looking it up. And I found out that Forex has been around for 2015 years.
Mm-hmm.
It has never closed its doors, never filed bankruptcy, never laid anybody off, never missed a check, but
Mm.
has been profitable in recession for 2015 years. So I started out with a small amount. Of course, I can't give a dollar amount, so a very small amount. I can't
Mm-hmm.
show 2 digits. And then I got in the market. All I did was copy and paste. And what I can say that this has done, it has changed my tax bracket.
Amen.
It changed my tax bracket. I didn't move out of my house. I'm still in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told God, if you ever get me out of this, I will stay in this house. Now I'm gonna buy a mansion. I'm gonna get me another one.
Okay.
I still got a 15-year-old. So, but you learn to prioritize things. And,
Yeah.
but it was able to help me diversify to where I'm able to invest in oil wells. I own a certain, amount of shares in an oil company. I buy gold and silver, things like that. I'm no longer a real estate agent. What I do now is I flip properties,
Mm.
and I do all those things. But I started out not knowing how to read the charts to being the number one educator within the company for 8 months in a row and in the top 5 for the past year. And the first Black female to create a strategy called the ECC 11 strategy in the London payout that
Yep.
has been number one with a 90 to a 94% win ratio come July for 2 years.
That's amazing. I just before you even continue, Dr. K, y'all, if y'all could just drop some fire, just drop some love for Dr. K in the chats. I'm looking at the chats and it's going crazy. If y'all can just drop some love, share some love for Dr. Kathy. But yes, creator of the ECC 11, I love it. You can continue.
So, and the reason why I called it ECC 11 is to remind you whether you win a trade or lose a trade. Now, I'm not perfect. I
Mm-hmm.
don't call 100% wins or anything like that. And there's nothing that's 100% in life at all.
Right.
And I call it that, named it by the scripture. For one, the word is the only thing that's going to last.
Mm.
So I named it after the word. And for two, if you lose a trade, it's still good to enter into foreign trade, because if the richest man that ever lived and the wisest man that ever walked this earth, and after him, God said there wasn't going to be another one. If he said that it's good to enter into foreign trade and he traded foreign currency, then we all need to be trading it. And if you lose a trade, you know where you lost it. Because that's why I tell my team all the time, and you're on my team.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I tell my team all the time, if you lose a trade, you know where you lost it. And the beauty of it is, you know which direction it went.
Mm.
Get back in the market and go get it. It's just that simple. And so how I got started with educating is I started with my team. I started with my team. I had a couple of people reach out to me and was telling me at their last place, they were struggling and they hadn't got paid, and they was going through some stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey, we're in a recession. We're in the beginning part of the recession. In about 3 years, it's going to get a little worse. So learn this skill set. And
Mm.
so it started out with me teaching them. It started out, I want to say we started out with 8 people. Then we grew to 50 people. Then we grew to 500 people.
Wow.
And I would get up at night at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We did one trade at a time. I got noticed by the company because of so many testimonies and so many wins and things like that. The owner of the company called me himself and asked me, did I want to be an educator? And that's how I got
Wow.
started.
Wow.
That's how
That
I
was,
got
I
started.
don't know if you remember that question, but that was one of my questions. But
Yeah, I
that's
remember that.
amazing. That's amazing. Cause I actually never knew how y'all went about becoming an educator, but that is amazing that you were reached out by our CEO of the company just off of testimonies and stories. And that's what takes me to my next question I wanted to ask you is, as an educator, like what motivates you every day? Like, cause I know the sessions that you do, and I know for me looking at it, I'm like, man, shit, I don't know how you do it. But
I'm
what
on
motivates
vacation
you
next
every
week.
day?
What motivates me is the fact that, to me, this is ministry. Because, like I said, Christopher Terry, he's a genius at what he does.
Yeah.
Uh, and plus he had a similar story compared to ours. He was
Mm-hmm.
just like some of us. I mean, he's so down to earth and everything. You couldn't, tell that he had what he had because he's a people person. And for me, it's ministry. I look at it like it's ministry. So if I can help educate people that everybody should be doing this simply because it's a God written skill set,
Mm.
then that motivates me to get up every night and every morning and stay on as long as I do to ensure that people get this skill set. Because once you got it, you got it. Like I was talking to a doctor yesterday, and he's a medical doctor. Even if he retires, he still have that skill set. Even if you decide you want to take a break for a while, you know what to do in order to go back in the market.
Yeah.
Plus, I named it after the scripture because if I can get you to ask me what is ECC 11, and I give you the scripture and you go look it up, then I planted a seed. Somebody else can come by and water it, and God gonna get the increase.
Wow. Wow. That is beautiful. That is amazing. Because I had that same question. I wonder why you named the ECC 11 too.
But that's why. And then plus,
That's
like I
amazing.
said, everything that's only the word's gonna last. Only the word of God is gonna last throughout eternity and throughout time.
Yes, yes. And I
It,
wanted to
it is
I
attention that way too.
oh yes. Yeah. I wanted to touch on the academy too. Cause I know just in case anybody that's watching that's not a part of it, I know they're hearing, you as an educator, you as an education, copy and paste. What does the academy provide? So like what does the Iron Master Academy provide for an everyday individual?
It actually teaches you how to trade. There's now for those that can't get on, we have over 100 educators, so you can pick your times of when you can get on. Plus, when we get on to teach, the recordings are there as well. But to start out with the basics, there's videos in there from beginners all the way to geometry of trading. The geometry of trading is in there to where you can go in and study it. Before you get on with any educator, you need to go in the back office and you need to watch those videos. There's a test that you have to take when you finish. Listen, the video is only at a max 10, 12 minutes long. If that, I'm thinking like 7 minutes. And then you take a quick quiz. There is no pass or fail.
Mm-hmm.
You take it till you get the answers right, and then you move on to the next one. This helps. Now, some people do it in 72 hours, and then when they get on with us, they can recognize the language. And I had one new person that signed up. She stayed in the back office for 30 days, and I recommend that. And she got in demo,
Mm-hmm.
uh, until, she was comfortable with going live. But the education is priceless at the price that they're charging.
Mm-hmm.
If I told you what I paid every semester to enroll in school
Mm-hmm.
compared to this fee, it's nothing. It's literally, Brandon Boyd said it best: $6 a day for your financial freedom.
I
I
gotta
pay
write
that
that
at
one down.
Starbucks until they shut us in. Now I make my own coffee. Yeah. But I used to go to Starbucks every morning. $6 a day.
Yeah.
Starbucks. Sometimes 7 if I want to, you know, make my cup a little bigger.
Yeah,
Or
and
add.
that's the perspective that like I've learned to gain from, partnering with you and, partnering with Jazz and, other leaders in our organization is the perspective is just different. Cause when you break it down on a smaller scale, like everybody thinks like, oh, $6 a day, that's no problem. But everybody looks at the chunk and, gets scared to invest in themselves. Cause Bob Proctor says, the only prerequisite for success is a desire. So you have to have the
Exactly.
desire and you have to make a decision on what you want.
Only what you want to do. And then don't say that you don't have money because the whatever you speak is what's going to happen. You got money. You know how I know you got money? Because you got a closet full of clothes that you don't wear.
Mm.
You got shoes in that closet that you ain't wearing. You got stuff in that house that you don't use.
I know it. I know that's me. You talking to me right
Yeah, other people need that. What do they call it? Another man's trash is somebody else's treasure.
now. Mm-hmm.
You can have a garage sale if necessary. I remember when I was struggling so bad, I would bake. My specialty was red velvet cake. I would bake red velvet cakes, slice it up after service, would sell it for $1 a slice, just so I can have gas money to get back home. I knew I could get to the church, but didn't know how I was gonna get back home.
Mm.
And I would do that, and nobody knew my story.
Wow.
Nobody knew. So you can create money. Your creativity, you have space and opportunity now to learn a skill set that will set you up for the rest of your life.
Mm. That's powerful. That's amazing. I'm just writing that down. My last my last question for you, and also too for those of you that are watching, You know, just to be respectful of Dr. Kathy's time, if there's any questions that you want me to make note of, just drop them in the comment box. We'll see if we can get those answered before we end. But Dr. K, I wanted to ask you is, what advice would you give someone who's hesitant about, you know, trading, or who feels like they don't know anything about it, they're not going to learn? You know, what advice would you give someone who's just hesitant to get started?
You need to change your way of thinking.
Mm,
You can do all things and anything that you put your mind to. Let me tell you something. I found out that wealthy people make quick decisions.
yep.
They're wrong about it. They'll go back and they'll own up to it. But everybody should be able to trade. Like I said, it's for everybody. Now, when I don't do challenges anymore because of compliance, we don't
Mm,
do any challenges. So what we doing is Project 30. It was always told to me that if you do something consistently for 21 days, it becomes a habit.
yep.
So what I'm asking everybody to do is to trade one strategy and get in the market and trade for 30 days straight and learn this skill set and tell one person about it for the next 30 days. But I encourage everybody to do it. It's for you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's meant for you. Love you too. God
Um,
is so
yeah,
one.
you getting a lot of love. Someone asked, can you ask her about her challenges? So like, did you have, if you mind sharing, did you have any challenges in your entire journey to where you are to this day that you wanted to share?
Oh yeah, I sure did. I had one of the main challenges that I had, and I'm still working through it right now. I'm trying to gain my health back, but I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer uh,
Mm,
this time last year and had major surgery. But I kept getting out of the bed, getting up to educate people. For one, I
wow.
knew that sometimes life is gonna happen,
Mm,
but the world don't stop when life happens. So it's up to you on how you deal with things. So for me, mentally, I had to keep my mind right and keep doing what I was doing, just so I wouldn't fall into a state of depression or anything like that. Then plus, I know the tricks of the enemy. I know how Satan moves,
mm,
and he will throw a monkey wrench in your game just to get you off the path. So evidently, I must have been doing something right in order for that to pop up out of nowhere. I was fully
wow.
healthy, didn't have no issues, nothing like that. And then even when I had the surgery, it baffled the doctor's mind. They was like, they ain't never seen anything like it. Anything like it. When they opened me up. Now, I don't know if I'm getting too personal or not. But just to let you know how life happens, and you got to keep moving. But if you know the power of prayer, God will get you through all of it.
Yes.
When they opened me up, they didn't see a tumor. They said it was 800 cc's of water. It
Wow.
had cancer cells in it, and the rest of it crumbled up like cottage cheese. What should have been a 2-hour surgery turned into 8 hours because the pathologist said he had never seen anything like it. So that tells me that God has his hands on me, and I need to keep
Yes.
doing what I'm doing. So when life happens, when you have challenges, you still need to learn how to survive. You still got to keep moving. You don't sit there and waddle in it. It
Yep.
ain't gonna solve any problems, and I've been going ever since. So this is the first time in 2 years that I've taken off a whole week, other than the Christmas break when they allow us to take off.
Mm-hmm.
To, you know, I hit the ground running. I did. I hit the ground running, and I was making sure everybody was educated. But I left my family, so I had to come. Now I'm taking off to spend a little more time with my family this week because it just dawned on me. We're in quarantine. Things are happening,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to. You got to have an even balance. Plus, I done gave out so much. I got to feed myself now. I
Yeah.
got to go back and educate myself a little bit more so that I can get in there.
Wow, that is amazing, Dr. Kathy. Every time, and I already knew a little bit about your story from, from my mentor Jazz and your mentee Jazz, and it's just every time I hear it, I get so rejuvenated, so inspired again, and I just love hearing your story, Dr. Kathy.
Now, Warren, he said Kathy getting a little old, ain't it? What's getting a little old? I don't get old, honey.
Oh,
I
I
get
see it
better.
now. I wasn't even looking at the comments.
Yeah, I saw that old when that old popped up. I saw that.
That one caught your eye.
Yeah, I ain't getting old. I'm getting better.
Okay. Well, guys, is there any other comments? Any other comments you want to drop before I let her go? Dr. Kathy, you answered all my questions. I really just wanted to take this time because I love different perspectives, you know, and I love the perspective that you come from, you know, where you was introduced this earlier in the year and then you came back 10 years later, where I was introduced this, you know, after the foundation has already been laid by, you know, educators like yourself and Lee Allen that I follow. And you know,
Yeah, we're all
I
on the
thank you guys for that.
same. Yeah, me and Lee, we all on the same team. I love Lee. That's my girl.
Someone asked, do you have any top 3 tips for beginners?
Uh, get in the back office, stay consistent, and stay consistent, and don't let nobody talk you out of doing it. I don't care how hard it looks or how hard it gets. Always go back sometime and take a second look. Because, like I said, when this was presented to me in 2006, I missed my season.
Mm.
But I'm so glad I got a chance to take a second look at this and come in. And I will say this, don't let $234.95 stop you from making $235,000.
Wow.
It can be done.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Yeah, we just look, we gonna end it right on that comment. We gonna end it right on that gem right there. That's great. Nah, but that was a good question. I'm not sure who asked that question, but that was a good question. I thank you for that. Dr. Kathy, as always, I thank you for your time. Let you get back to your grandkids and enjoy the outside. Thank you for everything that you do, from the trade-a-thon to your classes to
Oh,
just your
thank you.
journey. You know, thank you for all the hard work, the education that you put in, and that you continue to pour into us every day. So I love watching your sessions. I love making money with you. So you know, I definitely
Thank
love
you for
everything you
having
do.
me.
I appreciate it. Well, all right, I'll let you get back to what you're doing, and thank you again.